Hello, 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 hello. How are we all doing today? If you're going to view the lesson, jump into the chat, ask some questions. Today, what we're going to be working from is stick control book formulas and the syncopation book. We have a lot to cover today, so I don't know how long the lesson might be. It's going to be a pretty long one. So hello, hello. So for those who haven't purchased the stick control book formulas, 95% of my lessons are going to be from here. Unfortunately, it's very expensive to have this printed up, binded, and mailed. It's only available in the US, the hardcover that is, and it's $45. That includes shipping. Now, I do have another platform, which is the PDF platform. You can also purchase this PDFs. There's 180 pages of formulas. That's a lot of formulas, a lot of work. It's about 5-10 years worth of work in here. Anyway, if you would like to purchase it in a PDF format, look at how I'm doing this. Minga huh? The PDF format is $25. Send $25 as a gift, okay, to my PayPal account, which is my email. And the same thing applies to if you want to purchase the textbook. It's $45, which includes the shipping. And that is also sent to me as a gift. So if anybody would like to purchase the hardcover or the PDFs, go for it. Like I said, 95% of my lessons are going to be from this book. Today, what we're going to be working from is this book, plus the syncopation book. If we have time, we'll get into the formulas at the end of the lesson. What I wanted to discuss today was cut time. Straight up and down and swung. So the first thing we're going to do is straight up and down. That's what I should have said first. Now, straight up and down is just one. You're playing, for example, if you have you should have the syncopation book. That's this guy, gentlemen. See it? And what we're going to do, it's so old, this one. We're going to take a line, for example. All right, let's go to I don't give you much to do here. Hold on. We're going to start off pretty simple. Now, there's 3 different publications on this. So I have this guy, and I'm going to be on page 30. That's lesson 12. So get the syncopation book out and open up to page 30. Okay. What does it say here? How you doing, Jim and Robert or Bob? Anyway, that's what we're going to be working on. Now, the issue I want to take first is straight up and down. If you look at the time signature, you see 4/4 time, which means 4 beats to a measure. Each quarter note receives 1 count or 1 beat. That's the definition of 4/4 time. So we're going to take the first measure. and we're going to play it. We're going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I got to sit higher. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now that's the way it's written. Good for you, Jim. We're going to talk about the new book in a little bit. Let's stay on the lesson. We're working on a syncopation book. We're on page 30, lesson number 12, line 1. We're just reading it straight up and down. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that's the count. So here we go. Line 1, I'm going to do 2 measures. 1 and play. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Simple basic reading. Now, what we're going to do with this, with the straight up and down reading, we're going to use it as what it is. It's reading, but we're going to use it as a linear line. So the definition of a linear line, okay, is where it's a straight line of rhythm where no two voices hit at the same time. So if I played 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, that's what's written. Okay, so now I'm going to play it as a linear line. So that means I'm going to fill in the blanks. I got to maintain a straight line of eighth notes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, with demonstrating the linear line, I'm going to use my snare drum voice with my right hand, and I'm going to fill in with the bass drum. For example, 1 and. 1's blank, it's a rest, so I have to make that an eighth note, a sound. 1 and. Okay, so I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Real simple. Simple linear line. Do we understand that, gentlemen, before I go to the next move? Now you can take any line and do that. I chose to use the snare drum and the bass drum. Now I could still use the snare drum, but instead of just using my right hand, I could alternate the strokes, meaning instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, I'm going to have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It totally sounds different. 1, then that. You don't understand it, Jim? I mean, Bob? Is that what you're saying? You don't understand it? All right, a linear line. Let me get into it a little bit more. Don't forget, this is the first 5 minutes of the lesson. Okay, straight up and down. Remember, we went through the stick control book and we took the first line and we said, okay, we're going to play the stick control book, the first line, as written. It's a linear line. Okay? So what it is, I'm playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I just played one measure of eighth notes. Okay, one note at a time. I'm not playing something like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's not a linear line, that's a layered line. Or if I played 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, that's not a linear line. A linear line is a straight line of eighth notes. So I'm looking at the first measure of the syncopation book on page 30, line 1. It's written straight up and down, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's what's there. Now, I'm counting eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, now I want to make a straight line of eighth notes. So there's eighth notes missing. I want to put the blanks, say with the bass drum, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Again, line 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Do you understand that a little bit better there, Bob? Yes or no, Bob, before I go any further? I need to know. If you don't understand, I'll re-explain it again. You understand it. How about you there, Jim? Drum and sax shop, huh? All right, Jim. Do you understand it? Now, I selected to use the snare drum and the bass drum. I'm playing the figure that's there with the right hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, I have a lot of different options there. I could play what's there on the snare drum and play what's not there with the floor tom-tom. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Same thing, but I changed the voices around. That's a linear line. Okay? Now, I'm not going to go right to cut time right now. I'm going to go to a polyrhythmic time. Do we all know what polyrhythmic means? For example, if I'm playing 3 against 2, I'm playing 3 with my left hand. I'm playing 2 with my right. That's 3 against 2. 3 with the snare, 2 with the floor tom-tom. And I want to put the bass, well, it's not linear. I'm going to put the bass drum on the count of 1. All right, so now what we're going to do, that's okay. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to play through that line. All right, whatever's there, we're going to play on the floor tom-tom against the 8th note triplet on the snare drum. The bass drum is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, hi-hat 2 and 4. By the way there, Hoist, we're on lesson 12, page 30 in the syncopation book. And did you get the PDFs that I sent you for the formula book? And have you had a chance to look at it? And what do you think of it? Okay. Now, again, 3 against 2. I'm going to establish the platform. The bass drum is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. The hi-hat I want to put on 2 and 4, but not at the moment. Let's just do the bass drum 1, 2, 3, 4, and the snare drum is going to do 8th note triplets. So in essence, what that is polyrhythmically is 1 against 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. Now with the right hand, I'm going to play the figure 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Do you guys hear that? Jim, thank you very much, but do you understand what I'm doing right now? There's another book coming out soon, and this has the syncopation formulas. I've had a ton of requests for that. I want to give the lesson, Jim. 3 against 2. Doing 3 with the left hand. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Bass drum's doing 1. The hi-hat's on 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to play the line down with my right hand. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Do we understand that? We understand it, gentlemen. I'm doing 3 with the left hand and playing the line down as written with the right hand. 1, 2, 3, 1. Hey, now. 1, 2. Okay? Now that's one option. Come on, speaker. Mike, hold on. Where'd you go? Hold on. Modern technology, my God. Yeah, hello. Robert, do you understand that? Bob, do you understand it? Hoist, do you understand it? And guys, who are ever in viewing a lesson, get in the chat. Interact. All right, if you understand the first line, it's just simple. I like to use a whole lot of dynamics. Do we understand what the term dynamics means? Degrees of power, soft, crescendo that was, but I'm playing soft, moderately loud, and loud. And there's a lot of in between there. I don't want to get too much into it. But that's 3 against a 2. So I just like to hang out with it. But I'm using the 4 voices. Okay, the floor tom-tom, the snare drum, the bass drum, and the left foot. So I got, this time instead of me counting triplets like 1 and 2 and I'm counting this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now I could move that around. Instead of me playing just that, my right hand on the floor tom-tom, I could play, I want to remain 3. I could play 3 here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and play what's there with the bass drum. 1, 2. Understand it. Jim, Hoist, do you understand it? Troy, how are you? Everybody's late. I can get a bonga. Would you like me to make the lesson later? I think 1 o'clock is an ideal time. Like I said before, we're working with straight up and down. I didn't get into the swing yet, and we're working with polyrhythms. We took the line straight up and down, and then I'm adding a polyrhythm. That means polyrhythms means, in a linear time rather, where no 2 voices hit at the same time, and it's a straight line of 1/8 notes. Reading the line with the right hand or the left hand in a variety of options, or using different voices, and playing the blanks with the right foot. Okay, so now, there's a whole load of this stuff to do. And this is going to be in, I've come up with a title. It's going to take a while yet, but I had so many requests now because they did purchase the stick control book formulas, and they suggested I write a syncopation formula book. I don't know exactly what the title would be, but all the things that we're going to be teaching now is going to be in the book. It's written out, 3 against 2, polyrhythms, the linear time, the linear concepts, with a variety of different voices. I don't know how many pages it's going to be. I'm not going to go through another 180 pages. Maybe, maybe not. I could probably just go off. I flip out with this shit. And Rob Wallace from Hudson Music has a book that I want to have published, and it has nothing to do with it has a little bit to do with the workbook and some to do with the up-and-coming syncopation formulas. We're going to be negotiating soon, and hopefully to be out on the market and create a lot of following for me, I hope. But so far, you guys are late. Where do you want me to begin? You want me to start from the beginning? Jim, is that okay with you if I start from the beginning? Robert, is that okay? For the other 2 gentlemen? For Troy and for hoist. And sure, I thought you were going to purchase the hard copy and the PDF formation. Okay. Now, straight up and down, we're not going to swing it right now. I want to go to cut time. It's a great book to play in cut time because we do a lot of hip patterns, rock patterns, or some funk patterns. Okay, cut time. Now, there's a few ways to interpret this. Now, when I first came across cut time, I was told differently here. I was taught that instead of it being 4/4, you think of it in 2/4, which is not wrong. It's not technically correct, but the term alla breve means cut time. That's the Latin terminology. So, and I demonstrated this one time before, that for example, the metronome is pulsed on the quarter note. No, I'm not going to put the metronome on. And then we talked about the half note. Now, the half note is actually cut time. So let me explain. And if it's easier for you guys to think of this in 2/4, that's fine. You look at the first measure, straight up and down in 4/4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, cut time. All right, if you notice that I played the bass drum on 1, 2, 3, 4 there. In cut time, all right, if I think of, first off, the eighth notes become 16th notes. The quarter notes become eighth notes. All right, so now you have line 1. You have an eighth note rest, which would be 1 E. Okay, so you have one E and 2 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 E and I'm not going to play it like that. 1. Would you like me to slow that down? Notice I'm using my right hand only because my left hand is still in a lot of pain. I will hopefully get that all taken care of within the next couple of weeks. That's preventing me from making instructional videos for my site for the workbook. Do you understand it, gentlemen? Cut time. Line number 2, in cut time. Yes, no, maybe, by chance, help. All right. Notice when I'm playing the bass drum. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2. 2 beats to the measure. So if I'm in 4/4 and I do 2, the downbeat is on 1 and 3, that's actually the half note interpretation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2. 1, 2. Line 1 again. 1. Line, am I going too fast? Line 2 would be 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and. Line 3. Gentlemen, talk to me. Am I going too fast? We understand the difference now. Straight up and down, linear time, okay, and cut time. Okay, I'm going to have a nap while you guys, I know there's a delay, but it's not that much of a delay. Do you gentlemen understand what I'm doing? You hear me? Now, we could take this we're going to go back to the linear concept. Line 1. If I played the first measure, 1, I'm thinking in 2/4. 1E and 2 and. And I want to play it linear, make it a straight line of 16ths. I'd have 1E and, oh yeah, wait, 1E and, I'd have 1E and 2E and 3, so on and so forth. You don't understand it. Cut time. All right, let me go back. Line 2. Excuse me, line 1. I'm a little under the weather right now. Line 1. I'm going to play the first 2 measures in 4/4 time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. No problem with that. Now, cut time means I'm going to play that actually twice as fast. Cut time, the term cut time, comes from the Latin terminology or term alla breve, cut time. So instead of 4/4, I'm going to make it 2/2. But if you approach it with 2/2, it gets a very, very confusing. So I'm going to take the first measure. All right, I'm going to play it in 2/4. So here's what happens. You come across an 8th note rest, that becomes a 16th note rest. You come across an 8th note, that becomes a 16th note. You come across a quarter note, that becomes an 8th note. So the first 1E and da, okay? 1E and da. Then I have 2 quarter notes left. 2 8th notes and da. So I have 1E and 2. Does that help you somewhat there, Robert? Line 1, 1, 1. 1E and the 2E and. Now, let me break it down a little bit better. The 8th note rest is a 2/16, 1E. You have an 8th note next, so that's going to be and the. 1E and 2 is a quarter note, 2 8th notes, 2E and. You sure? I have no problem re-explaining it. So I can take it up a little faster. Line number 1, 1E and 2. E and the 2E and, E and the 2 and, E and the 2 and. Okay, let's go to number 2. Number 2, you have an 8th note rest, that equals to 2/16, 1E. Then you have an 8th note coming, that equals an additional 2/16, and the. So I'm just going to play 1. 1E and the. No, I'm sorry, line 2. 1E and the. 2E and the. Man, I'm lost today. Now, there's a couple different ways with a vamp. If I'm playing 16th notes, play line 2 and cut time. I'm thinking 1E and the 2E and. Okay, do we understand that? I'm just setting up sort of the agenda for the week. I'm not going to be writing no more PDFs out for a while for the lessons. These are going to be in the books. You do understand that, correct? It's just a lot of work, as you can see, Jim. All right, let's go to cut time on line 3. I'm going to do that slow, and then I'm going to build up the tempo. I'm going to play with one hand. You have 4 8th notes. That's going to equal 1 E and the 2 E and in 2/4. In 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'm thinking the cut time. 1 E and the 2 E and 3 E and the 4 E and. Is the cut time clear? Because I don't want to continue to go forward if it's not. Because what's going to happen, all right, is that you're going to get lost somewhere in the mix. And I don't want that to happen. I don't want to leave anybody behind here with understanding it. So that's why you have a chat, is to ask the questions. You understand it, Troy? Good. Ah, la bunga banga boom boom. All right, again, tonight's lesson is going to be on my site. And we're basically going to do the same thing. You know, explain cut time. I might even do the whole page for you. I might give an extremely long lesson tonight. And what's this, man? What happened? Jesus. You know, hold on. I got lost. There you go. All right. And, you know, we're going to do these a variety of different ways, especially the 3 against 2. Now, I have an issue here that I need to resolve. And the member is in the chat. I got an email saying on formula number 8, there's something wrong. So, is that I'm going to mention your name. Would that be okay? Jim, was it 8 or 18? Jim, you there? You said I put something on the wrong space or the wrong line. Jim, please respond. Jim, I'm waiting for you, man. You're holding up the lesson. You said there was something wrong on one of the formulas. If there is, I would like to know so I could correct it. Knock, knock, Jim. Hello? Whoever has the workbook, if we're on number 8, the formula number 18, I believe. Jim, come on, step up, man. Oh, boy. I must admit, I'm on a little bit of medication today. Hello, Jim, you there? Maybe I get to him through the telephone. I don't see anything wrong. I mean, nobody's perfect. There's a lot of papers, man, a lot of writing, so I could have made a mistake. And if I did, I would like... What are you doing, man? Give me the number. We'll fix it. Okay. Syncopation formulas. How's that sound for a title, gentlemen? Covering linear concepts, cut time, triplet fill-ins, jazz time. All right. Anyway. Oof. Come on, meds. Stop kicking in like this. You think so? That's a good title? Syncopation Formulas? Okay. How many pages you think? 180 again or what? That's a lot of pages. I can come up with it. I can come up with more. I like to keep the cost of the book down because I go to Staples and they're the ones that double side the sheets, and they are outrageously expensive. I'm lucky if I walk away with a profit of $3 on each book. Which one is that, Jim? I mean, Robert. Which number are we on? 18? Are we on number 18, guys? Hey, Joe, how you doing? You need to purchase the book, guys. 18. All right, you look at the key. You said, I'm wrong. The key snare is wrong. Yep. Sorry. My bad. All you need to do, unless you want me to send you another sheet, is not a problem. All you need to do is step the note up one space. It does happen when you're doing this 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. The floor tom-tom is correct. It's the snare should be bumped up one more space. That's my bad. I apologize. And thank you for making me aware of it, dear Jim. You're the man. Okay. Joe, what time did you get here? Just about now or what? What time did you get here? Yeah, it is. Jim, it was a mistake. Just bump up where underneath the snares, cross that out, and put a note just above it. It's my mistake, unless you want me to send you another sheet on that, you guys. Now, Joe, if you want to purchase the PDFs, they're $25. All right? That means you have to print them all out, put them in protector sheets, or put them together, go to Staples and get them binded. Okay? That's a lot of printing, man, double-sided. Or you could just buy the hardcover for $45, PDF for $25. You're going to need it because that's basically what my lessons are going to be predicated upon is the stick control book formula. Yes, we're going to expand, and that expansion will get you some additional PDFs. Well, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm tired, because I'm in here sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the morning till I pass out and go to sleep. Okay? And thank you, Robert, for making me aware of it as well. Okay, tonight, my site, and like I said, if it happens again, where we cannot broadcast from there, I'm out of there. I'm getting a new provider, and we'll be here. Your pooch, your dog. Walking the dog's a song. It's not walking that dog. Walking the dog's a song. Walking my pooch, I don't know about that being a song. Okay, I'm just having fun today. I just need to put my head on a pillow because, man, I am like not drugged out, but I just took some new medication and I don't seem right. So Monday I got to go get a treatment and I have to get a follow-up with the MRI next week. So I'm going to be a doctor now instead of a computer programmer and a drummer. I should just quit drumming and take tuba lessons. It's a lot less complicated. But then I have COPD, so that would be very complicated. All right, Troy, it's www.Matt Patella Live Lessons tonight, okay? 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're basically going to start. Everybody, please be on time. You know, I don't want to keep going back to the beginning because somebody's 20 minutes late. I don't want to leave anybody behind. I'm sure, you know, we could all help each other out, okay? I'm trying to, Robert. I just want this pain to go away. I intended to start doing videos of each formula, starting with formula number 1 to formula 45, sending out a few free ones on YouTube, and populating my site with formulas to purchase. So there's a lot of work ahead of me, a lot of work ahead of us. All right, a lot of communication. I really wish, and there's nothing I can do about this, nor you can, or anybody else, the provider. The delay in the chat and in the stream itself. On my site is a little longer. I don't know why, because it's not, you know, Google. Google has a bigger server than most people. All right. You too, Troy. Go back to work. Have a good rest of the day. And we're going to see everybody this evening, 7 p.m. And guys, please be on time. Huh. All right. Is there any questions? Uh-huh. Hello. Okay, no questions. We shall see everybody this evening, 7 p.m. I might even get there a little earlier. All right? And it's going to be a long lesson because I'm going to play the whole page. Straight, cut time, syncopated. Oh, yeah, boom, my head. So on and so forth. All right, gentlemen. Have a good day.